When we think of Hogwarts, we imagine a magical castle full of moving staircases, ghosts, and secrets. But the truth is that Hogwarts wasn't born as an enchanted tale. It emerged from a dark period, marked by fear, persecution, and chaos in the wizarding world. Before the school existed, young people with magic lived without guidance, putting themselves and others in danger. Hogwarts was created as a response to this problem, not only to teach spells, but to protect magic, organize knowledge, and ensure that the future of the wizarding world was not lost forever. It was there that history changed, uniting hope, conflict, and decisions that still echo through the castle corridors to this day. Before Hogwarts existed, the wizarding world was an unstable and dangerous place. Witches and wizards lived scattered, almost always hidden among muggles, fearing discovery. In many regions, magic was seen as heresy or a curse, resulting in persecution, trials, and burnings at the stake. To survive, magical communities needed to isolate themselves, creating an environment of constant distrust. Young people who manifested powers early rarely received adequate guidance. Without emotional or technical control, magical accidents were common and often fatal. Knowledge was transmitted in a limited way, within families or small groups, making learning uneven and incomplete. Furthermore, there was no standard of teaching, nor a consensus on values, limits, or responsibilities in the use of magic. Each wizard learned as they could, when they could. This scenario threatened not only the safety of muggles, but the very future of the magical world. Without organization, magic risked becoming uncontrollable, further fueling fear and hatred against those who possessed it. It was in this chaotic context that the urgent need arose for a safe, protected, and structured place where magic could be taught consciously, preserving both the lives of young wizards and the balance between the two worlds. It was in this scenario of fear and disorganization that 4 extraordinary wizards emerged, destined to forever change the history of the magical world. Godric Gryffindor was known for his bravery and fearless spirit. For him, magic should shape people capable of facing danger, protecting others, and acting with honor, even in the most difficult situations. Helga Hufflepuff had a different vision, based on loyalty, patience, and hard work. She believed that everyone deserved to learn, regardless of origin, as long as they were willing to dedicate themselves. Rowena Ravenclaw saw magic as pure knowledge. For her, understanding spells, studying theories, and stimulating reasoning was the highest form of practicing magic. Salazar Slytherin, on the other hand, had a more rigid and controversial view. Convinced that magic should be preserved, he argued that only wizards from traditional magical families should be taught, fearing that unrestricted acceptance would put the wizarding world at risk. Despite these profound differences, the 4 shared a common goal: to protect young wizards and ensure that magic had a future. This unlikely union, marked by both admiration and tension, was the foundation of Hogwarts. Each founder brought with them not only talent and power, but ideals strong enough to endure for centuries, shaping entire generations of wizards and leaving permanent marks on the school they were about to create.
With the decision to found the school, the 4 wizards needed a location that was safe, isolated, and virtually impossible for muggles to find. They chose the Scottish Highlands, an ancient region surrounded by mountains, lakes, and strong natural magic. There, Hogwarts began to be built not just as a stone castle, but as a living structure shaped by powerful enchantments. Spells of protection, concealment, and defense were cast to ensure that only those connected to the magical world could find it. The castle was designed to adapt to time, grow, hide passages, and protect its secrets, becoming one of the most complex magical structures ever created. As the first students arrived, the need for organization arose. It was then that the founders decided to divide the students into houses, each reflecting their deepest values. The idea was not to separate by superiority, but to guide. Gryffindor would welcome the courageous, those willing to act even in the face of fear. Hufflepuff would receive the loyal and hard-working, valuing effort and justice above raw talent. Ravenclaw would be the home of the curious and intelligent, where knowledge and critical thinking would be a priority. Slytherin, in turn, would gather the ambitious and determined, those who sought greatness and influence. To ensure that this division remained true to the original intentions, a magical artifact was created, the Sorting Hat, enchanted with fragments of the founders' own minds. Thus, even after their death, their ideals would continue to guide Hogwarts. More than just classrooms or dormitories, the houses became pillars of the school's identity, shaping friendships, rivalries, and the destiny of countless wizards throughout the centuries. Over the years, the differences between the founders ceased to be merely philosophical and became direct conflicts. The main rupture stemmed from Salazar Slytherin's view on who should have access to magical education. While the others believed that talent and dedication were more important than origin, Slytherin saw Muggleborns as a threat to the secrecy and security of the wizarding world. For him, teaching magic to just anyone could lead to the destruction of everything they were trying to protect. The arguments became increasingly frequent and intense until coexistence became impossible. Unable to convince the other founders, Salazar Slytherin left Hogwarts. However, his departure was neither silent nor definitive. Before leaving, he secretly built the Chamber of Secrets, a hidden place deep within the castle, intended to be opened only by his true heir. Inside, Slytherin left a deadly creature, the Basilisk, with the mission of purging the school of those who, in his view, did not deserve to study there. The existence of the Chamber of Secrets became a legend, discredited by many throughout the centuries. Even so, its creation marked Hogwarts forever. It represented not just Slytherin's extremism, but also proof that the school was born from real conflicts, not perfect harmony. The episode revealed that, from the beginning, Hogwarts carried within its walls both noble ideals and profound flaws, consequences of decisions made by wizards too powerful to be entirely unanimous. After Salazar Slytherin's departure, Hogwarts moved on, but never ceased to bear the marks of its foundation. Over the centuries, the school consolidated itself as the main center for the training of witches and wizards in Great Britain, weathering wars, political changes, and profound transformations in the magical world. More than just teaching spells, Hogwarts began to shape character, values, and worldviews, directly influencing the future of wizarding society.
Each generation of students left its mark on the castle, while simultaneously being shaped by it. The houses, created to guide and preserve the ideals of the founders, became an essential part of the student's identity. Courage, loyalty, intelligence, and ambition came to coexist within the same system, not always in harmony, but always in balance. This diversity allowed Hogwarts to train wizards capable of thinking, acting, and leading in different ways, something essential for the survival of the magical world. The school's impact extended far beyond its own walls. Many of the leading figures in the Ministry of Magic, the Order of the Phoenix, and even the Dark Arts received their education at Hogwarts. Decisions that changed the course of wizarding history were born in its classrooms, corridors, and towers. At the same time, the school's internal conflicts reflected the dilemmas of magical society itself, such as prejudice, power, and responsibility. Hogwarts also became a symbol. For some, a safe haven, for others, an ideological battleground. The school proved that education is never neutral. It carries the intentions of those who create it and the choices of those who keep it alive. Even centuries later, the questions raised by its founders remain relevant. Who should have access to knowledge? How to balance tradition and change? To what extent should magic be controlled? That's why Hogwarts isn't just an ancient castle or a setting for incredible stories. It's a reflection of the ever-changing wizarding world. Understanding its legacy means understanding that magic, like knowledge, can both unite and divide, and that, in the end, the true power of Hogwarts has always been in the choices made by those who have walked its halls. Hogwarts has spanned centuries, wars, and generations, but has never ceased to be a direct reflection of its founders. Every corridor, every house, and every conflict within the castle still carries the weight of decisions made long ago, when 4 wizards tried to protect the future of magic, even while profoundly disagreeing with each other. Understanding the history of Hogwarts means realizing that it was never perfect, and perhaps was never meant to be. It exists as a fragile balance between opposing ideas, maintained by constant choices. And that's precisely why, to truly understand Hogwarts, we need to take a closer look at those who created it. In the next video, we'll delve into the mind of the founder who believed that knowledge was the purest form of magic, Rowena Ravenclaw. Because before the houses, before the rivalries, there were ideas, and they still live on.